Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, AEW's Tony Khan and MJF have beef and then immediately squashed.
WWE reveal exactly how Cody Rhodes is going to show up at WrestleMania this weekend.
An influential backstage figure has returned to WWE.
And WWE have big plans for The Rock at WrestleMania 39. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Backstage heat in AEW.
Woo!
It lasted about half an hour, and I'm not entirely sure if it's a publicity stunt or not, but let's run through it. It's MJF and Tony Khan, right?
I think Tony Khan's in the wrong. I'm just going to put my...
Here he is, ever balanced when it comes to Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Always.
Fightful Select came through with a report on Monday talking about the recent interview with Ariel Helwani that MJF did. We've covered that a little bit, talking about his effusive praise for makeout sessions. He's a big NXT 2.0 mark, MJF. Just can't get enough of Wendy Chu and Von Wagner and all that.
Oh yeah, well you know why? It got hard.
Come Tuesday. Hey. Right, okay. I've gone off the rails already. That's usually a good sign.
That's why they watch.
It is. However, so the source of this beef wasn't anything that was said in the interview. And he said a lot in this interview about his contract expiring and how he wouldn't resign until the deal was up and he's going to be a free agent in January 2024, praising WWE. Of course, nothing to do with the content. That didn't cause issues. It's that the interview apparently wasn't cleared, or AEW's PR team weren't informed that it was happening before it happened. They had a conversation over the weekend that apparently left both men frustrated, and that resulted in a pretty awkward situation. However, Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer, has since come through and noted that the situation is settled, the issues have been smoothed over. The conversation did take place, they were both frustrated, but there wasn't a big fight or anything, and now it seems to be over and done with. There's also some stuff in the Fightful report stating that MJF has been frustrated about his contractual situation in AEW. There's no way that MJF can come out of this losing. I don't think.
No.
There's no way in hell Tony Khan is going to have a lingering grudge with one of the guys who's going to be the future and present of his company.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that people like to blow out of proportion, for sure. I'm sure discussions like this take place every single week in wrestling promotions. You just don't hear about them. An administrative cock-up somewhere along the line, perhaps. But yeah, there you go. We've gone over the whole thing. We'll see how it pans out. Again, I will reiterate that I think MJF is doing an absolutely tremendous job of convincing people that he's going to leave AEW in January 2024, or thinking that he might. Personally, I'll believe it when the sun is made of cheese.
Indeed. Summit and nothing, isn't it? All of this. Yeah. Like you say, it's one of those things. We've gone through the process of interviewing people from WWE and AEW. There are certain avenues maybe you have to go down, but also occasionally, like with Big E, for example, we have a direct contact rather than having to go through the necessarily correct routes, and then sometimes maybe it's on them to inform their employer or whatever it may be. Look, like you say, first of all, have you seen MJF's face? How could you ever be angry at that face? Right? And, yeah, you're not going to go, right, that's it, MJF, no more interviews for you. Yeah, it's one of the best interviews in the world.
Yeah, your push is over. You're fired. Yeah. Because you didn't tell me about an interview with the biggest combat sports journalist of all time.
I would say I have to apologise to you, by the way, because we got the scoop on this. MJF obviously told me what it was being best friends. We talk every night. Yeah. But he told me not to tell you. So
okay.
Sorry about that. Oh. And if Tony Khan says he's got a beef, I'm a vegetarian. I ain't scared of him. I'm not a vegetarian. I don't know why I just said that.
Nice swear there.
Yeah,
sorry, Nicholas.
Sorry.
It's a good job it's not Phil. That's all I'll say about that.
Anyway, should we move on?
He will kill you.
This could well be the final Cody Rhodes story.
It won't be.
Yeah, it won't be.
At least you'll be in America.
Yeah.
It'll be me and Michael Sidgwick sitting here going, there's another bloody Cody story.
Yes, so off the back of last night's Monday Night Raw, it's blatantly obvious to everyone how WWE plan to debut Cody Rhodes. Re-debut, I suppose, technically.
Return, debut, come back, thing.
I keep saying debut, it's like, it was there before, you might remember. Yeah. Anyway, how they plan to do his big return at WrestleMania 38. On last night's Raw, we obviously got Seth Rollins being summoned to Vince McMahon's office at 9 a.m. And basically Vince just went, I don't know why he caused such a bloody fuss about not being at WrestleMania. Why don't you just ask me? Of course, you're Seth Rollins. I'm going to put you on at WrestleMania. It's going to be an opponent of his choosing, Andy. it's going to be Cody.
Yeah, it's 100% Cody.
And yes, it's going to be night one, Saturday the 2nd of April. Basically, Seth's not going to find out his opponent, who is Cody, until he's in the ring. So yes, they are going to do, effectively, as we have reported before, the big Hardys return, except with Vince. So instead of, I don't know, Cody's music hitting, you're going to have Vince going, and be like, huh? Your opponent is... Sorry, Vince, once more? Whoa! We smoke a mirror!
I can't wait for him to pull the swerve, and Cody's opponent Seth's opponent is actually Shane McMahon.
Or
the Fiend.
But I tell you what, it's worth toasting the final Cody Rhodes story before WrestleMania. It's blatantly not.
Do the ad. Go on.
But yes, we have our own beer. You can see it here. It is genuinely delicious. A 5.3% YPA, named brilliantly by Michael Sidgwick. This is clickbait thumbnail. It's with our friends, obviously, at Top Rope Brewing, and you can get your hands on it. And I believe, even if you order it right now, again, apologies to our more international viewers. If you're not in Europe, you can't get your hands on it yet. I don't know if we're doing anything with that, but I'm just going to say yet.
Shipping alcohol over the Atlantic is tricky.
Yeah, exactly. I'll shove
Sailors, the pirates drink it.
I'll smuggle some in, I'll shove some in my pockets. But yes, if you're in Europe, particularly if you're in Great Britain, of course, you can get your hands on Clickbait Thumbnail and 11 other delicious beers. Actually, I think there's several cans of Clickbait Thumbnail chips in there.
Multiple cans.
12 craft beers in total for £45, which, if you know your craft beers, is an absolute bargain. Free shipping with the code Here's Why as well. It's part of our big WrestleMania package with Top Rope Brewing. All you need to do is go to topropebrewing.com to get your hands on it. We tasted it on Friday. It is genuinely a great beer. And perfect to pair with The Fiend versus Goldberg or WrestleMania 38.
And if you rate it 5 stars on Untapped, I will accept your friend request.
Oh!
So there you go. Get that number up, baby.
That's it. That's taking us over the top. Yeah, topropebrewing.com if you want to go and get your hands on it.
Influential figure returns to WWE last night backstage. Who is it? It's Tyson Kidd, mate.
Good.
There you go.
He's been responsible for quite a few good matches, hasn't he?
He has. He's got a great backstage reputation. He's somebody that almost everyone it seems who works with him seems to love working with him. He's responsible for a lot of women's stuff coming out of WWE, but he was back on the scene last night, crispy and clean. Fightful Select coming through with the report. This was actually the first time he's been backstage in his role as a producer/agent, or he was billed for the show last night. Backstage, all that stuff. First time he's been there since the week beginning the 17th of January. So he's been away a while, and that led to speculation that maybe he was done with WWE and maybe he was looking at other things. Dave Meltzer actually came through with a report a few weeks ago, noting that actually Kidd's still with WWE. He had a good relationship with his employers. He's actually away because his neck, you know the situation. He had to retire in 2015. He's got a bad neck and sometimes it flares up, and according to Dave, that's why he was away. Fightful have been right on the money with the reports on this stuff as well. They publish like Raw producers every single week. And yeah, Tyson Kidd back. Good to hear. He never hear anything but great reports about this dude and the work he does backstage. Hope his neck's doing okay.
Yeah.
Hope he's happy, healthy, and moderately wealthy.
Yeah, rubbish to hear that he has to take time off for his neck. Obviously, you get so optimistic when you hear all these different returns from severe neck injuries. It's just not going to be the case, unfortunately, with Tyson Kidd.
Everyone's different, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But he has really carved out a real niche for himself, and I think he's made himself really indispensable to WWE, because like you say, anytime we hear reports from big premium live event matches, he's usually the one pulling the strings behind the scenes. So yeah, great to have him back just in time for WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to our final story of the day and look ahead to WrestleMania 39, that is.
Oh, New York. No, it's not in New York. It's in the other big city.
Hollywood, baby, isn't it?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
The city of angels.
Indeed. Well, on Wrestling Was Over Radio, Dave Meltzer provided an update on the greatest wrestler of all time, in my opinion, The Rock.
That's not how you say Terry Funk.
Indeed. Making an appearance at WrestleMania 39. It, for now, only pencils, but it appears to be on the cards. They are working with him to try and get this match made. One would assume, obviously, that Roman Reigns would be involved in this. He's obviously related to The Rock. I'm not sure if that's ever has that been mentioned on WWE TV.
Once or twice.
But also, he's dropped references to him in promos and what have you. It would undoubtedly be one of the biggest, most stupendous WrestleMania main events ever. Me and Hamlet have already suggested that you could have that one night and Stone Cold versus Brock on the other because they dropped references to him last night.
You guys are complete sadists.
Hey, see what happens. But yes, it could well be the case that he will headline WrestleMania 39 with Roman Reigns, which, I mean, it's the dream match.
It's the one, yeah, it's the one. It's the white whale that WWE are going to be chasing forever and ever and ever. Feels like we do this report every year before WrestleMania for the next year's WrestleMania. I still feel like everyone involved wants it to happen, but Dwayne is Dwayne, my close personal friend, he's a very busy guy. In case you know, he
was at the Oscars the other night.
Yeah, why was he there?
I think that was the big story coming out of the Oscars. The Rock's there.
It's not like he's done a couple films here and there, is it? But yes, obviously, lots of barriers to break down to make it happen. I believe really that they do want it to happen. I think it's, there's not really a bigger match that they could realistically pull off, is there? I mean, I'm trying to jog my brain here. I mean, Steve Austin versus Brock is mental.
Becky Ronda, like it's already...
Becky Ronda, yeah, that'll be on it. The Fiend versus Alexa. Yeah, classic.
Big E winning the Rumble, please.
At WrestleMania.
I'm going to will it into existence so he wins the Rumble because he'd be one of the most celebrated Rumble winners in recent memory, in my opinion. And then he'd main event WrestleMania. I'd put him in the main event. I'd put him on like night one. If
we
did
did
this
dance
night
last year as well, man.
You're telling me there's a chance?
Fantasy booking is
Pasty bet time, is it? I'm already deep in the
year
hole.
From now.
Greg is blowing me up, to be honest. Greg's, that's the owner. But yes, I would love to see it genuinely. He's my favourite wrestler of all time. He's one of those bucket list people I'd always love to see. It just makes complete sense. Title or no title, I don't really care. I mean, it's probably going to be title.
Yeah,
but
you just have a big match.
Exactly. Let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE, of course. First question today comes from Mike on the mic. Well, not the only one.
Oh, come on, Mike.
Still counts. That's
Come on,
his Twitter
Mike.
handle. Oh! Just think you get a week off from that.
Thank Crivens.
What's this in your luggage, sir? Oh, that's really important, actually. I'll need that.
Why is it in your hand luggage? That's a deadly weapon.
Emergency on the plane. Congratulations to the party line on the plane. Oh! Anyway, Mike on the mic writes, morning guys, what are your thoughts on the Intercontinental and US Championships not being defended at this year's WrestleMania? The legacy! Won't someone think of the legacy?
I think that WWE haven't given a crap about either of these titles in about 20 years, and ultimately it doesn't matter for that reason.
I don't know. Can we just isolate that and then just use it forever now? Because
they don't care.
They don't. We care a bit, and then we don't care at all. And then we care a bit, and then we don't care at all. Like, they have flashes, like, Cena made the US title relevant again briefly.
Yeah.
Miz and Dolph made a big thing, which was great, of the IC title, but a lot of the time they beat the IC champion for no reason on Raw to hype up Austin Theory.
Yeah, they would never do that. People's image of fans hold those belts in much higher esteem than the company, and they just don't care. There you go.
Which is why they're going to put it around the waist of Cody Rhodes. Eddie Zamhari gives us our second question of the day. He says, hey guys, with what happened on last night, he tweeted this yesterday, it makes sense. With what happened at the Oscars and WrestleMania at Hollywood next year, which celebrity versus celebrity match do you want to have? So I thought about this. It's difficult because we don't know people's schedules and blah blah blah, and whether or not they'll mesh well in the ring. So I thought you should think of a celebrity, I should think of a celebrity, and then there's your match.
Fight.
So, do you want me to start or do you want to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
Mr. Blobby.
Wow.
Come on.
I'm just going to say the name I had in my
head.
head.
Step to Blobby.
One side, Mr. Blobby, which is that's. I could put, like you say, you can put someone in a ring with a broom and they could wrestle them. That's Blobby. Blobby's carrying this match.
Blobby's the master of the mat,
which is good because we can work with John Fashanu. Alruga. Let us know your
John Fashanu.
Let us know your celebrity versus celebrity dream matches. This is an entire podcast.
We've named to the American audience, which is 70% of our viewership won't know, so maybe we should name
What's the chef with Guy Fieri?
Pitbull.
There you go. Mr. Worldwide.
Guy Fieri absolutely rules. Or Dad Fred Durst.
Yes.
Triple threat.
Special guest referee? in a referee outfit.
Joe Exotic.
It's on my
There you go.
Right, okay, final question today comes from Big Mike. No, not that one.
Good.
says-
I like this Big Mike.
Morning Legends, quick multiple choice for you. Which AEW star will be the first to reference the Oscars slap heard around the world? Will it be A,
I already know the answer.
MJF, B, Max Caster, C, Dan Lambert, or D, someone else or no one? If someone else, then who?
The correct answer, unfortunately, and it's boring, is whoever's on TV first, right? But Max Caster had his line written within a second of
Yes.
this happening, so I'm going with him.
I think you're right, exactly. Whoever gets on screen first is going to reference it. It's going to be one of those things, and I'm not blaming AEW for this, but by Friday, that joke's going to be done. Remember my whole...
Yeah.
I know that's WWE, but you know
Yeah.
how fast that burnt out.
It might be gone by tomorrow. It might be gone now.
I think it's going
right?
to be... I know you asked
Like-
AEW start. I think... Wait, bloody Barrett. It's probably going to reference it on 2.0 tonight, to be perfectly honest.
100%.
I think there's going to be about 6 segments with like Lash Legends slapping the taste out of someone's mouth.
Like, the patter's already gone. I saw someone tweeting last night, can you imagine if he'd slapped Betty White? And I was like, what are we doing here? What is going on? Somebody said Bob Saget as well.
What?
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Can we not just enjoy someone getting slapped on live TV for a second without it turning into this ridiculous thing where everyone needs
God.
to have an absurd hot take? Like Judd Apatow going, oh, you might have killed it. Shut up, man! Like, I hate to turn into this guy. I hate to turn into the guy who says this line, but it's really not that deep. Someone said a joke and got slapped for it. That's it. Violence, no, is not a solution to problems like this, but were you entertained by it? Because I was, and there's enough crap in this world to feel miserable and upset and worked up about without having to devolve this harmless moment for everyone involved apart from the immediate protagonists. Shut up, enjoy the slap, get on with your day. Betty White is not getting slapped at the Oscars. Number 1, she's sadly no longer with us. Number 2, stop being such an obtuse weirdo. You are freaks, you are psychopaths. I will not fight you because I am very weak, but I will come on this video and shout at you where you have no way of responding because I don't read the comments. Shut up, it was funny. Enough.
But Andy, what if they tweet at you?
I'll mute them or
There
something.
you go.
There you go.
By the way, I love Broken Andy. More of this, please.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
That was
again, man.
fantastic.
Just
it's
have
cathartic,
fun.
isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, just have fun. Just have fun with stuff. When a meme comes out, you don't need to go, oh, someone could have... No one was going to die. Enough.
Do you want me to cheer you up with the end finally?
It was a slap, guys.
Joe, do you know the
Yeah,
spring
but-
break goes down
yeah,
this weekend?
yeah.
Have you seen who the
I have.
guy who's been entered into the Cluster F? The greatest Cluster F Part 2?
It's Sean.
No crap. Just that.
Sean-
Sean Ross Sapp
Yeah.
is going to be in the Dallas, Texas Cluster F. I might get involved in this.
You're going to do a run in
I'm
and
not
help
holding
him
the
out.
barrier.
Help him out.
I interviewed Joe Janela about 3 years ago. I'm like, all right, Joe. Mind if I...
How's it going? Fine.
Go on, Sean, though.
If we had a cluster F of all the wrestling media people in the world, who do you think would win? Let us know in the comments as well. Sean's a good bet because I understand he has some kind of like legit training.
Can't say Miller. Miller's cheating.
Yeah, Miller and neither of those guys are winning because they're too good. Who have you got?
I'm putting my entire life savings on the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Van Vliet.
He's got a very good physique.
He's one of those guys like, you know when Trish Stratus used to dance and just like hypnotise people. That's just Chris Van Vliet being Chris Van Vliet.
There you go.
I met him once.
He's
and
very magnetic.
I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
He said hello and I was like, oh, I love you. That's basically what I said. He's a very handsome man. I hope we run into him over WrestleMania weekend so I can fawn over him a little bit more. But best luck, Sean Ross Sapp. Good luck, mate. If he's going to be in it, if that's already been announced, who are the surprises?
Dave and Brian. Imagine. God.
Oh my God, it's the biggest thing of WrestleMania weekend all of a sudden.
This
Right.
is sensational.
Let us know your thoughts on that, your celebrity versus celebrity matches, and everything in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Of course, myself and the Dudley Boys sitting down to review WrestleMania Raw a little bit later on today.
Have fun with that, jeez.
Yeah, and preview a little bit later on as well.
What was that?
NXT Plus, you can let us know your thoughts, Twitter questions, everything like that at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there, follow both of us, follow Andy Murray
at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Haribo. It's what for breakfast.
Tang-fastic. Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.